if you look back on every single storm, every single trial, every single mountaintop you've been on, you can't not see the goodness of God, especially if you're looking for it.
Welcome back to Live at the Hive. I'm your host, Janice Jokkel, and today we've got the most amazing woman in Medina County that I can't wait for you to meet. She is running two amazing businesses, and I want you to hear her story because she has one. So, Kayleigh, welcome to the show.
Hi, good morning.
I am so excited to have you here. Your family has done a lot of good in this community.
We do love being here, and so far we haven't been kicked out. So we're still doing our thing.
Hence why I wanted her on this show. So tell our viewers, what do you do?
So how I earn money, because there's multiple things that I do, and I've come to realize the fruits of all those things are just so different. But the way that our family brings a bounty in what I'm a part of is heavily involved in agriculture from the start to finish. We till the ground. You know, it's planting season right now. I was reading all about your words of impact about spring, you know, because that impacts us as farmers immensely.
Yep.
Both spiritually and physically.
Yep.
So we are farmers, we are agriculturists, we raise the crops, we feed our livestock, we're meat processors, and we have a retail fresh market and cafe bistro here locally.
So tell us about that, because I just want to hear this story about how you took that building and resurrected the bones of that building.
Sure.
To what it is today.
Yep, so that is, oh my gosh, that's such a cool story in all of its pieces, because I would sit there at our processing plant where most of our business is as if you raised 2 hogs for yourself or a couple cattle, and then you would hire us to do the processing of that, and it would go back to you or some of your customers. That's most of our business revenue center through our processing plant. And we started, my dad actually started Keller Meats out of a garage.
Wow.
And you know, if you look back, it's just so cool when I realized this. When you look back over some of our nation's most successful companies started out of garages. Because of, I believe, that freedom to just be creative. You're in a safe place. It's your environment. Yep. And Keller Meats was started out of a transformed garage where you'd walk in and the bone saw was right there. And bone saws are not partial to species. So how nobody was injured, I don't know. But then people just started coming in and, hey, Tom, can I have a couple steaks too? Mm-hmm. And that's how like the retail side of things ever grew. So then as my dad would say, because I was hired for an equine nutrition company right out of college from Ohio State. And when I would be traveling, I wasn't in the office. And then when I get back into town and I'm like just trying to bring order, because by just natural course, this company is growing. Mm-hmm. And I'm just trying to put things in order as best I can figure out. I'm like, this is a hot mess. So my point to that is my dad would say, like, I never hired her, so I can't fire her. And I'm like, you're darn right, you can't fire me. So I would listen to our customer for years say, we wish you had more fill in the blank. We wish you had more this. We wish you had more smokies, jerkies, sausages, more retail, more fresh cuts. We wish you were closer. And I really honed in on all those things because, I mean, people will tell you what they need if you just listen. Yeah. And so in 2016, I was like, oh, how do I do this? Okay, so Lord, show me, how do I do this? And I definitely did not pray as much then as I do now. Yeah. This project was so many things coming to just bring me even closer to the Lord in so many ways. And for that, I'm so thankful as well, because I would sit outside that Farmers Exchange building, which for everybody that doesn't know is an old feed mill called the Medina Farmers Exchange that was built back in 1904. And it has transferred hands a few times. It's burned down and been resurrected 3 times. So there's something oh my gosh, biblical and just awesome about that. God's perfect number of, 3.
Yeah. Yes.
And sitting outside of it one day, just my steering wheel and God, like, God, I want our business to be here. Like, I'm looking around at other projects with my partners, my real estate partners, of like where we could put this potential like vision that we all had that was all individual, but how can we click all these pieces together? And we ultimately then landed on that Medina Farmers Exchange building, which to me just felt like such a home run. That building gave my family the ability to do what we do with the exchange of agriculture goods, with the ability to go in there and have our feed ground up or sell gravity wagons full of feed, to grab supplies. The building's position next to the train tracks, not coincidentally, that was a way for goods to be transferred on and off, and transport agriculture goods across Ohio by rail, which is so important.
Yeah.
Our rail
So
systems.
is that operating now? Do you put stuff on that train and?
No, so that part's
like, well,
not.
that's pretty cool.
Yes.
I did not know about that part.
Yeah, but what's cool too is so when we first part of the project and the revitalization of it was everybody was concerned because there's 2 floors of apartments in it now.
Right.
And that the train would be so loud and people wouldn't want to inhabit the space either commercially or residentially. And once we filled that place up with life again, you might recognize the train, but it doesn't stop your conversation.
It's white noise.
Yeah, it's just off in the distance. Whereas before we put the matter into the building, you'd have to stop talking. Yeah. Because it was, and there's 2 crossings, so it has to do, so long. Yeah.
Oh, that's so funny. So how long have you been there now? You've been there?
We started the construction end of 2018, and with demolition, which was hot mess express. And then the bulk of the construction and resurrection in 2019, and then opened January 30th of 2020, which was only supposed to be like 50 people, soft opening, 50 people max. There was over 300 people. I think most of them were my family. And I'm like, there's no controlling this. There's no controlling this.
And that's a month before things were shut down for COVID.
It was a month before the world lost its mind, and it's still looking to find it again.
Yes.
I know. Yeah.
Did you operate still through COVID?
The fresh market did.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Another
You were
family
an
has the
essential
restaurant. Yeah, and they were shut down.
Yeah.
The brewery
But
hadn't quite opened.
you had residents upstairs.
Yeah. So those are all filled up by July of that year. Yeah. So there were some people that lost their jobs, and our management company released them, no penalties. Like, what are you going to do?
Wow.
So just like that was, the exercising of mercy. Yeah. I believe.
Oh, yeah.
Hugely. Like, what are you gonna do?
It's funny that you say that because, we could have taken a hard line or a soft line. And in Medina County, I found so many people gave grace during that time. Yeah. And those people are getting it tenfold back. Yeah. So what is it that you love about what you do? Like, you have a lot of things, like your finger is in a lot of things. But what is the one thing that you say that you would say you love the most about what you do at your business? I
guess this right here, like being able to look right into your eyes, know who you are, know how beautiful you are, know how the impacts that people like you make doing what looks like everyday things, but it's not. No. It's a piece of a fabric that weaves us all together. Yeah. Because we're in an election year, and it's just so easy. I think it shines its light a little bit more on how we are different. Yeah. And differences were never supposed to mean that we're not all a part of the same fabric. Right. So I'm able to, and I just love this, I've just embrace those differences and see how that different colored stitch that somebody else is just puts together a piece of fabric that makes the coat all the more beautiful and thriving and purposeful. And so I questioned this in myself a long time too. Like, why do I love the food and food industry? Like, what keeps drawing me into this? Is it just because my family's always done it? Is it just because it's what I went to college for? Am I just sticking inside of a box because it's comfortable? And then I've realized it really hit me last November, especially, like, why I love food. And it's because everybody eats. Everybody eats across all differences, across all language barriers, across all political views, across all religious sinks. Like, whatever you are, a Steelers fan or a Browns fan, everybody's going to the tailgate to at least grab a chicken wing. Everybody eats. Regardless.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's a gathering piece. And I just love to, like, gather them all up and feed people, whether it's like food or word of knowledge or something that they're just not being seen for. Like, I just feel so blessed, and sometimes like this undeserved privilege to be able to talk to some people and they walk away just both of us feeling enriched. Like, something moved, something happened there.
Yeah.
And food is a segue of being able to do that. It's one of my vices to be able to do that with. Because, again, across all language barriers, everybody knows what means.
Yeah.
Like that satisfied sound.
Yes.
Yeah.
Universal language.
Yeah.
So our show ends with a words of wisdom, and you impact me every Sunday. So, little side note, Kayleigh and I go to church together, we hang out online together, and she has got some amazing, like, gut-wrenching punches on Sundays that brings you full circle. And we are unapologetically awesome in our faith. We are unapologetic of our following in Christ. And so end us today with a words of wisdom, because you have a lot of them. So
a good word of wisdom. Well, I guess I'll reflect back to like what Sunday was, because I'm just still resting in a gratefulness. And if you look back on every single storm, every single trial, every single mountaintop you've been on, you can't not see the goodness of God, especially if you're looking for it. And fully recognizing like Jesus saved my life.
Yeah.
And the gratefulness
literally
that I have for that.
Yeah.
Like, he literally at the end of my driveway one day said, "Kayleigh, I'm not changing them, I'm saving you."
Yeah.
And when you allow the goodness of God to just do that, to allow God to be good.
Yeah.
Allow him to be the God that he says that he is. That's it. And then you get to abide in the gratefulness.
Yeah.
And that's the filling that nobody can take from you.
Yeah.
You don't have to explain it. It doesn't have to make sense to everybody, because it's yours.
Right.
It's your gratefulness.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow. I love being in the presence of you. You are just so authentic. So authentic, and I'm the core of authentic. Sometimes to the fault, but that's okay, right?
Yeah, I know.
So until next time, until we have the next guest on our show, who is a community connector, thank you for being with us
Thank
today.
you.
You are so busy, and for her to just take a little time out of her day, it's an honor. So until next time, thank you for tuning in. You have a choice, and you choose to watch us. So until next time, toodles.
Armstrong is proud to support the community and local businesses. As an Armstrong Business Solutions customer, the team at the Hive supports their community through Armstrong's high-speed internet connection and reliable service. Watch Armstrong Neighborhood Channel on Channel 100 or visit Armstrong Neighborhood Channel on YouTube.